Speaking to the people through the streets of Gilmore, there didn't seem to be baseball bats out for Scott Morrison, but not everyone was terribly happy with his performance or government's performance for the area either. But no one was saying they were convinced about Anthony Albanese. It does seem with these latest published polls, we've got a situation, there are plenty of people who are interested in voting against Scott Morrison, but not being put in a position where they can vote for Anthony Albanese. I guess that's where you could end up with a hung parliament or the government coming back at the end. I spoke to Andrew Constance after our door knock. Oh, Andrew Constance, thank you for allowing us on your door knock and thanks for talking to us. Now, that was quite interesting because I say all politics is local. We definitely saw that. It was all about the local roads, which are abominable, I have to say. But no real big national policy issue that struck out. You know, sometimes you see work choices or boat people or GST, nothing like that. Has that been your experience all the way through? It's local.
Pretty much. I mean, look, we're running a positive campaign for the community because it's about the community. It's not about me. It's not about the Labor candidate. And at this time, like, people have, you know, they do think locally when they vote. What matters to them? It wouldn't matter if, as we're doing today, announcing a couple of playgrounds and the pump tracks, which are like a bike track for kids. People are looking very much at their local community and what they need, and they think that way when they enter the ballot box.
But one woman said something very interesting. She said, she sounded like head office of Sussex Street, frankly. She said, I want to vote for the winning side because I know whoever wins will be able to deliver more for the communities. Something in that, isn't there?
Look, I mean, obviously, yes, it's a benefit of being a member of the government. I mean, I had 8 years in opposition, as you know, back in the early part of my parliamentary career. But look, if the argument's there to deliver, what's interesting in this sense is that with this campaign, Labor have been matching my commitments. So at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily matter who's in power. We will get that $40 million to start the rebuild of the local roads. We are going to get that $40 million to commence the work with the Nowra bypass. And of course, we've got the other big ticket items like the Milton Ulladulla Barrel Lake bypass already budgeted for in the national statement. So to that end, it's, you know, look, people are just weighing it up. I think the big thing out of this morning is that people are yet to make their mind up. There's a lot of soft vote.
Yeah, and look, the other thing, COVID did sort of loom large. Not that they want any particular action on COVID, except they don't want their freedoms taken away again. So One woman was talking about vaccine mandates. Another woman spoke about how tough the working from home has been with kids at home. Have you found a lot of that? I mean, Scott Morrison's been on about taking restrictions off. Is that, you know, something you can use?
COVID has changed people. There's no doubt it's changed the way in which people think, changed the way they interrelate. For some, it's been very tough. I've seen it at a family level. You've got a lot of stress and a lot of pressure on a lot of people. That's where this country's been the last couple of years. Throw in fires, throw in floods. People have really done it tough in our region, and they don't want a gob full of politics. They just want to be able to get on every day, make sure that they're getting well supported, but without the politics. And that's where I think a lot of people are, and one of the reasons why people are undecided at the moment. It's too much politics.
Another voter saying not convinced by what Scott Morrison's done, but not convinced by anything Anthony Albanese's offering. Do you hear a bit of that?
Yeah, I mean, look, ultimately, when I do hear that, I'm able to present the case in terms of Scott Morrison. I mean, one of the big things that he did do right back at the start of the pandemic was turn the planes off from China. And I remember at the time, it gave the state governments a degree and an ability to get that ICU capacity up, given that the numbers were heading and expected to track like northern Italy. So there are things that he's done along the way which were the right decisions for our country. And, you know, I think certainly he hasn't had if you look at the country since World War II, there hasn't been a PM who's had that much pressure on a daily basis in terms of those crises. For Albo, he was able to hide behind COVID and make himself a small target strategy. In fact, to be honest with you, given the nature of COVID, he was always going to struggle to get his message across anyway, even if he wanted to be a big target. But now that the spotlight's on him, as you know, people are sort of saying, well, he's not ready to govern. There's this sense that the policy work hasn't been done, you know, people are very sensitive to that.
Is there a feeling enough's been done in terms of bushfire recovery from the feds? That they've delivered enough on that?
Fire recovery is tough. If you look at the magnitude of what happened, I mean, the 3,500 homes were cleaned up within the first 6 months. That was an incredible effort in the middle of COVID starting. But you've also then got a lot of pain where people are still struggling. A lot of people underinsured, a lot of people who are doing it tough, still living in shipping containers while their properties are still yet to be rebuilt. So it's hard in that sense.
Just starting to rain, so I'll ask you one final question. The Liberals, Morrison's team, believe you can win this seat, that you're looking very good to win it. Are you that assured about the result?
This is about the community. It's their say. That's how it should be. I'm just trying to be positive.
Are you expecting a tight fight though, or do you think you've
100%.
got a pretty good chance?
100%. It's going to be tight. 100%.
And
you know, the thing is, it's not about me, really. At the end of the day, the people of Gilmore, you know, given where they've been, where they need to go, they need that support, and we're just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
And just finally, sorry, I can't resist, why are you doing this? You've already done all this time in state parliament. Why do you want to go and be potentially a federal backbencher?
Because I want to deliver for my community, and I felt that it hasn't necessarily had the support that it deserves over recent years, and I've got fire in the belly. I think politics has got to change in Australia. We heard it here today. You know, people are really just tired of it. And, you know, for me, the best times I've had in Parliament were when we had bipartisanship with the NDIS, an enormous regard for Jenny Macklin and John Della Bosca, and we got a lot done, a lot of good for the country. And I think, you know, we expend so much energy on unnecessary debates, so much energy on bad politics, that people are just tired of it. So, yeah, I mean, I want to use the experience I've had the last 19 years at state level. I've been a state treasurer, as you know, finance minister and disability minister and transport, roads and infrastructure minister. And I want to ensure that, you know, I take that experience and not lose it and continue to work for my community and region I love.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Andrew.